the possibility of Paulo Dybala leaving Roma is absolutely strong and concrete. Ciao, ciao, ciao. I see all of you. Let me know, guys, if you can see me well. I see many fans asking about Paulo Dybala, and so we will also talk about that because Dybala is getting closer to Alcacia. Dybala is very close to joining Saudi side Alcacia to play with Nacho, to play with Pierre Aubameyang. So the possibility of Paulo Dybala leaving Roma is absolutely strong and concrete. The agreement between Dybala and Alcacia is already there since last week. I told you about the agreement between Dybala and Alcacia last week. Now Roma and Alcacia are finalizing the deal, and so Dybala is very close to leaving Roma and joining Saudi side Al-Qadsiya. So it's going to be one of the big topics of the next hours, because already today could be an important days for the Paulo Dybala story. I see many of your questions, and today we will enter into it. We will touch on some of these stories. Guys, for Liverpool, the story of the day is still Georgi Mamardashvili, because Liverpool are closing in on this deal for Mamardashvili. So I see many Liverpool fans, but as of today, the story is Mamardashvili. Mamardashvili is close to joining Liverpool. Let me say that there is an agreement on the fee between Liverpool and Valencia, 35 million euros plus a sell-on clause. Agreement Mamardashvili Liverpool on the contract. So the contract is okay, but still working between the two clubs on the payment terms and deal structure. So when Liverpool will pay this money, how many years, Valencia need fresh money as soon as possible also to reinvest on the market. So this is the point of negotiation, but Mamardashvili is very close to joining Liverpool. Remember that this deal is for summer 2025. So Mamardashvili would sign for Liverpool now, stay at Valencia on loan at least one season, and then joining Liverpool in summer 2025. So this would be the idea. This would be the possibility. Then let me see with all the messages on my phone. So I want to tell you something, guys. Also, another topics. First of all, it's an important day for Arsenal because the negotiations, as I told you yesterday, between Arsenal and Real Sociedad for Mikel Merino are going very well, and so we are really at the final points of this deal. I really expect Mikel Merino to be an Arsenal player. I never had any doubts, and it's happening. It's going to happen. So it's just about the final details, but Mikel Merino is fully expected to join Arsenal. So get ready for the here we go. Could be any moment. They also hope to make it happen in the next hours. So could be today, could be tomorrow, but Arsenal are really working on the final bits of the deal for Mikel Merino. And so the here we go will be coming soon. Arsenal are more than optimistic. This deal is almost agreed, almost completed for Mikel Merino. It's really about the final details. And then they will go with this deal. Then I wanted to tell you something also Manchester United, guys. I see many questions on, first of all, Kadioglu. Kadioglu has a strong possibility to go to Brighton. There is an agreement between Kadioglu and Brighton, 5-year contract, the salary, so everything is okay, but still working between clubs, Brighton and Fenerbahce, to close the deal. Meanwhile, Brighton allow Valentin Barco to go on loan to Sevilla, no buy option included. And so this is the plan of the for the player. Then I saw many questions on Osimhen, guys. I can guarantee that as of today, there is still no substantial update on Osimhen. I know there are many Chelsea fans asking, but guys, as I keep telling you, Osimhen for Chelsea is only a topic for the final days, not today, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Is only a topic for the final days on loan. And Osimhen doesn't want to go on loan, as I told you, and doesn't want to reduce his salary. So let's see if they can find a way, or maybe if some other door could open for Osimhen. Because we know the only club to have an agreement with Osimhen on the contract this summer was Paris Saint-Germain in July. Then talks between PSG and Napoli were very complicated, and so PSG left the negotiations. So the only club to have an agreement on contract with Osimhen was Paris Saint-Germain. Again, let's see what's going to happen with PSG in the final days, but at the moment is still quiet. And then important to say that for Osimhen, there has always been an interest in Saudi, so let's see if they can return for the final days. At the moment, for Chelsea, again, is a topic for the final days, but only on loan as of today, and Osimhen on loan doesn't want to go, and so let's see. Remember that today Chelsea and Napoli will meet for the topic Romelu Lukaku. So Chelsea and Napoli in a meeting today. Napoli director is in London to try close the deal. The agreement between Lukaku and Napoli is done since end of June, beginning of July, 3-year contract, and so Napoli are very confident to get the Lukaku deal done. They are advancing in negotiations. They made an official bid on Monday, as I told you, and now Chelsea could sell Romelu Lukaku after Armando Broja, who is going to Ipswich Town. The Broja deal is done with Ipswich Town, and now working on the deal for Romelu Lukaku. Meanwhile, guys, for O'Reilly and Brighton, negotiations are ongoing. On Lookman, I wanted to clarify something. I'm receiving many questions from Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, but I can guarantee that Atalanta have not received any bid from English clubs for Ademola Lookman as of today. At least not from Arsenal, not from Liverpool. So Atalanta are not in negotiations with these clubs for Ademola Lookman. As of today, if it's going to change tomorrow, next week, I don't know. But as of today, they are not in negotiations. Today, Lookman was back to the training ground after not training with the squad for some days. He's now back to the training ground of Atalanta. So while he was not with the squad because he wanted to focus on a potential transfer, he's now back to the training ground. A contract extension is also a possibility for Lookman. There was interest from PSG, but what I'm hearing is that PSG never presented an official bid. So PSG never started the real negotiation with Atalanta. PSG spoke to the agents of the player, but never started the concrete negotiation with Atalanta so far. And also, despite the rumors we had about Arsenal bid, Liverpool bid, as of today, Atalanta sources guarantee they have not received any bid for Ademola Lookman. And so they want to keep the player at the club. Is Nketiah to Nottingham Forest happening? Is quite close, I would say, because there is an agreement between Nketiah and Nottingham Forest. Then Forest yesterday were also advancing in talks with Arsenal. Forest had a second bid rejected for Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord, 26 million euros, 4 in add-ons. Still not enough to convince Feyenoord. So Feyenoord hope to continue with Santi Jimenez, and Nottingham Forest are pushing in talks to have Eddie Nketiah. So negotiations are advancing on that one. Then I see many asking about Barca, guys, but obviously the topic remains the winger, and Barca are looking at opportunities. So opportunities on the market are like Kingsley Coman, who remains a name to watch for Barcelona and for other clubs, because Coman could leave on loan with a buy clause included. So that could be a possibility for Kingsley Coman, and I will keep an eye on that situation for the French winger. And then another topic for Barcelona can be Federico Chiesa, because Chiesa is available on the market, is out of Juventus project. Juve are yet to receive an official bid from Barcelona. So let's see when and if it's going to happen. But it could be an opportunity. Barca have been made aware of the situation of Chiesa, talking to his agent, but at the moment there is still no bid to Juventus. So Barca know that there is this opportunity. Federico Chiesa, out of contract in 1 year, not extending his contract, out of project at Juventus, and now could be an opportunity for many clubs. So Barcelona are aware of the situation. He's represented by the same agent of Marc Pubil, who is also being linked to Barcelona move in the recent hours. He was going to Atalanta, then he didn't pass part of the initial medical test, but then there were other problems between clubs, and so the deal collapsed, and Pubil is now in the rumors for Barcelona. But for Federico Chiesa and all the other stuff, is considered like an opportunity. But Barca are aware of Kingsley Coman, of Federico Chiesa, of several opportunities on the market. So we will wait and see what's going to happen there. Chilwell is a player who has to leave Chelsea. Same for Raheem Sterling. David Fofana is in the list of Leicester. They are leading the race for him. Lukaku, Napoli, as we mentioned. So Chelsea are working on many things in terms of outgoings. This was the idea, and this is the idea for Chelsea. Then. Okay, always checking my phone because these days, guys, is completely crazy. Gabriel Mac, Chelsea, they keep working on this, my friend. So I know Chelsea fans want this talent from Gremio, but they keep negotiating, they keep working. I think it's going to happen. It's going to take some time, probably, but it's going to happen. I see many questions on Rafa Leão. Guys, at this point, I can guarantee that Milan position remains very clear. They have no intention, absolutely no intention to let Rafa Leão go. So at the moment, that's the situation around Rafa Leão. Then keep saying many questions also on Gundogan is done. Gundogan already signed the contract with Manchester City, so the announcement is coming very soon for Ilkay Gundogan back to Manchester City. Then I saw many Roma fans asking me about Paulo Dybala, but as I told you guys, for Paulo Dybala, the negotiation with Alcacer is very advanced. It's almost at the final stages, so it could take place very soon. Now, I can tell you guys something also on before finishing our live show. Then in the next days, guys, we will have many. We will be live many times to update you on all the latest. But for Manchester United, I wanted to say something important. I also saw a question on João Cancelo. Al Hilal are in negotiations for João Cancelo. It's not a done deal yet, as they said in Portugal, but they are in negotiations. So Al Hilal working on deal for João Cancelo. Then for Manchester United, I saw many questions on the situation of Ederson from Atalanta, the Brazilian midfielder. But what I'm told is that Manchester United never presented an official bid for Ederson from Atalanta. No bid, no negotiations. He's one of many players they appreciate, but Ederson is in the list of several clubs because he's a fantastic player, but he's not leaving Atalanta this summer. So he's not even a topic. Makes no sense to make a bid for Ederson because he's not available on the market, 100%. What's the point now with Ederson? Is that the player is not leaving this summer, and Manchester United have always had one focus: Manu Ugarte. And now the negotiations between Manchester United and Paris Saint-Germain for Manuel Ugarte are at the final stages, advancing very well. So Man United are very close to completing a deal for Manuel Ugarte. So guys, the point for Ugarte is Manchester United, as I told you 2 days ago, started negotiating for a loan with an obligation to buy for financial fair play reasons. The agreement with PSG is getting closer. Yesterday night, a meeting took place and was a very positive meeting. Still no agreement. They still need to discuss some details, so it's not a here we go yet. But positive talks, advancing well, loan with obligation. Agreement between United and Ugarte is done since July. It was an exclusive news 2 days after the Lenny Euro story. I told you, Ugarte agreed on personal terms with Manchester United, and Ugarte wants to go to United. Ugarte is obsessed with this United opportunity. He told PSG again this week, let me go to Manchester United, and now the two clubs are close to reaching an agreement. No bid for Ederson. Man United full focus remains on Manu Ugarte, and the agreement is getting closer. So working on this. Many questions on McTominay. Fulham signed Sander Berge, so they are no longer in for McTominay. Napoli can be a possibility if they complete some sales like Victor Osimhen. McTominay remains one of the names they have in the list. They have in the list Billy Gilmour, who is close. They have in the list Sofian Amrabat. They have in the list also McTominay. So Napoli are also exploring this possibility. But now the focus for Man United is to close Ugarte on loan with an obligation to buy. This is the idea. Man United are advancing well, and so we'll keep you posted on all the latest on Ugarte, but the agreement is really getting closer. Then let me see, as always, my phone for all the latest. Okay. Then on Ivan Toney, no breakthrough yet, so I will keep you posted on Toney as soon as possible. Mikel Merino, as we said, Arsenal really close. So here we go. He's expected soon. Guys, I will try to be live again between tonight, tomorrow, and then in the final week, we will be live a lot here on Playback to keep you posted. Many movements, many news. So when do you think the here we go could be for Ugarte? I think it could be in the next days because Man United are advancing very well, but it's not fully completed yet. So we have to be careful till the end. Guys, I think we said it all for today. We'll be ready in the next days to keep you posted on all the others. Then, or if you want, I can also stay longer answering your questions. Let me know in the chat. I see there are many questions. So if you want, we can spend some more time together. While I'm always checking my phone because many things are happening. Stay. Gay and Newcastle is still on. It's absolutely still on. Newcastle are working on the deal with Crystal Palace even today. So talks for Marguerite to Newcastle are absolutely ongoing, absolutely on. And I think there is still a good chance to see Marguerite going to Newcastle. So negotiations underway. Will Liverpool include anyone in the deal for Mamardashvili? My friend, what I'm told is 35 million euros guaranteed, sell on close. So at the moment, no players involved. What I can tell you is that the player who was close to being involved in negotiation for Liverpool was Stefan Bajcetic, who was in the negotiations between Liverpool and Real Sociedad for Zubimendi. This is a story from 2 weeks ago, but he was involved in talks because Real Sociedad wanted to include Stefan Bajcetic in negotiations for Zubimendi, but at the end the deal collapsed because Zubimendi decided against joining Liverpool. What other striker could Chelsea sign if it's not going to be Osimhen? Well, my friend, my experience at the moment, I don't have concrete news, to be completely honest with you. So we have to wait and see. Now Chelsea are obviously focused on the outgoings. So Chelsea will now work in the next days to sell as many players as possible, between them like Lukaku, Sterling, Chilwell, and all the others. But I can tell you that in this kind of cases, for my experience, you have to keep an eye on players they already appreciated over the transfer window. And so just to give you an example, a player they've always been appreciating at Chelsea is John Duran at Aston Villa. John Duran scored for Aston Villa over the weekend. John Duran was very close to joining West Ham, then the deal collapsed. My understanding is that Chelsea appreciation in John Duran remains something that the player is also aware about, because the player knows that Chelsea always had John Duran in their ideas. John Duran was very close to joining Chelsea in June in a swap deal with Conor Gallagher. Then everything collapsed because Gallagher didn't want to enter into any negotiation before or during the Euros. But John Duran remains one of the possibilities. This is just my feeling. This is just my opinion. But usually when you want to sign a player in the final days, you return to some point you have already touched during the transfer window. So that could be the case, but it's just my feeling, my opinion. Then for Osimhen, again, the situation is open. The situation remains absolutely open for Osimhen, open to Saudi clubs, open to Chelsea on loan, open to several possibilities. Eventually also to PSG. PSG are not negotiating for Osimhen today. PSG negotiated for Osimhen in July, not today, but if they decide to return in the final days, we have to see what happens, because he remains available on the market. And I see another name in the chat, and it's Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is another situation that we have to control till the end of the transfer window, because last week, when there was Manchester United opening game against Fulham at Old Trafford, and I tweeted it was 4 p.m. Italy time, and I tweeted the Sancho situation remains open. So the future of Jadon Sancho remains open. And then 3 hours later, Jadon Sancho not in the squad for Manchester United. I think the situation remains open for Jadon Sancho. I would say that we are now at 50-50. 50% chances staying, 50% chances leaving Manchester United and trying a different experience. So I would keep the situation of Sancho under control in the next days, because there could be movement. There could be updates on Jadon Sancho, I think. Anything on Viktor Gyökeres at this point? No, my friend. At this moment, no. So if something changes, I will let you know. But in this moment, for Gyökeres, still no update. Then. Okay. Still checking. Sorry, guys, but messages are always here. And I see many of you asking me about alternatives to Ugarte. But let me explain to you guys something on Manu Ugarte. We had some reports, I think it was at the end of July, beginning of August, I don't remember, from England, saying that Man United were moving on from the deal for Manu Ugarte and trying to sign other players. I think that those reports were part of the strategy for Manchester United to try scare Paris Saint-Germain. Because my understanding has always been Ugarte number 1, Ugarte number 2, Ugarte number 3. Then they had some other options, because it's obvious, top clubs, when they want to sign a player in a position and then they still don't have the agreement, they have to consider other possibilities. It means meeting agents, considering other names, and some of these possibilities were Sander Berge. They spoke to the agents, but they never made the bid to Barley. Now the player is at Fulham, official today. Then they also mentioned internally again the name of Sofian Amrabat from Fiorentina, a player who was already at Manchester United last summer and remains in the potential possibilities for many clubs in the final days. But Man United never started any other negotiation. Man United always wanted to go for Manu Ugarte. So I think those reports, and I still remember many of you were texting me in the final days of July, at the beginning of August, like, Fabrizio, but many people is saying that Ugarte deal is off, we are going for other midfielders, important people are saying this. And I was telling you guys, Man United want Ugarte. Man United believe that the perfect transfer window is Zirkzee up front, Lenny Yoro and De Ligt, and they completed that. Then an opportunity at fullback, and they found an excellent opportunity, like Nusair Mazraoui in the same package of Matthijs De Ligt from Bayern, and Ugarte. Ugarte is the name they wanted in the midfield. So for United, the real issue was to reach an agreement with Paris Saint-Germain, but the player has been important in this story because Ugarte did his best to push for Manchester United move. Ugarte was really, really insisting on this possibility. And Manu Ugarte told Paris Saint-Germain several times something like, now I'm using words just to make you understand, it's not exactly what he told the club, but Manu Ugarte met with Paris Saint-Germain management and also with the manager, Luis Enrique, to tell them that he wanted to go to Manchester United. So that was the position of the player, a very clear position from Manu Ugarte. And this, for Manchester United, was helpful to advance and try offer a loan with obligation, which is not changing the sense of the deal because it's still going to be a permanent move in the future, but is really helpful for Manchester United in terms of financial fair play, because now Man United can negotiate a loan, so not paying a big fee this summer, but with an obligation starting from next summer. And I think from now to next summer, with the final week of summer transfer window now, one more January transfer window, and next summer, I think many midfielders will be gone at Manchester United. My personal prediction is that McTominay this summer or next summer, Casemiro this summer or next summer, because Man United wanted to sell Casemiro this summer, guys. Let's be honest. This is what I'm told. Man United wanted to sell Casemiro. Then at the moment, there are still no official proposals, but if something happens, the Casemiro story is still open. So McTominay, Casemiro, and Eriksen, I think these three players in the next year, so might be one in the next days, one in January and one next summer. We will see. It's just my feeling. But I think these three players will not be at Manchester United in 1 year, probably. There is a possibility. So that's why Manchester United, with a loan, with obligation for Manu Ugarte, believe that this could be the perfect solution financially and also a technical point of view because he's the player they wanted. On Leão, guys, again, I have really nothing to say, to be honest. I see many questions, but I have nothing to say. Then, any truth on Ademola Lookman? Guys, I told you on Lookman that today he's back to the training ground with Atalanta, so the situation with Atalanta looks under control. Then, at the moment, Atalanta sources guarantee that they have not received any bid from Arsenal or from Liverpool, despite the rumors we had in the last 48 hours. The club who spoke to the agents of Ademola Lookman has been Paris Saint-Germain. PSG had contacts for Ademola Lookman. It took place before they signed Desiree Doué. This is my information. So basically, what happened is that Paris Saint-Germain now at the moment have not presented any bid to Atalanta for Ademola Lookman. The interest in Lookman is true, but PSG didn't present an official bid to Atalanta. So that's the story at the moment. Many questions on Trippier. Yeah, it was reported today, and it's true that Trippier could leave Newcastle in the final days of the transfer window. Let's see. Could be a possibility for Everton, but also for other clubs. So let's see. Trippier was one of the names discussed between Newcastle and Milan at the end of June. You remember those crazy days for the financial fair play situation of Newcastle? They started exploring several options in terms of outgoings, and Trippier was one of the names they discussed as a possible outgoing. So he was mentioned in the talks with Milan for Malik Thiaw. Then Milan signed a new right back with Emerson Royal. So he's always been the priority, and Trippier was never close. But this is showing how Newcastle have been actively working on a deal to sell Kieran Trippier. So this has always been one of the priorities for the club this summer, and I think there is a concrete possibility for him to go. Let me check just a second, guys, on my phone. I don't know if we have some Sunderland fan, but Sunderland are closing in on a deal to sign the son of the defender Dario Simic, who is called Roko Simic, from Red Bull Salzburg. The agreement is close. So this was for Sunderland fans the last news I just got on my phone. Would Ugarte be the last signing for Manchester United? We will see. I never close the doors, guys, but you know why? This is something I wanted to explain to you for the final 7 days of the summer transfer window, 8 days. Basically, guys, Deportivo La Coruña signed Charlie Patino. Is done with Arsenal. £1 million, 50% sell-on clause, and Arsenal will also have the matching rights for Charlie Patino in the future. Then, I wanted to explain to you that when you ask me, Fabi, close the market for Man United after Ugarte, or maybe for Arsenal after Merino, or maybe for Chelsea after Joe Felix, or all these kind of questions. Guys, I will never tell you that the market is closed, because sometimes the clubs can have a last-minute opportunity and decide to go for it. And I am absolutely no one, me as all the other journalists, to come here and tell you the market is closed for this club. Because if tomorrow morning the director of football wakes up and says, okay, I want to bring in that player because it's a big opportunity, and trust me, it can happen. I saw many cases of clubs saying, okay, the market is closed for us. I will give you an example. I think it was summer 2021. Real Madrid considered their market closed. Then they have the possibility to bring in Camavinga 1 year before. They wanted to sign Camavinga as a free agent in summer 2022. Then they decided to sign Camavinga on deadline day in the final hours of the summer transfer window, because it was Camavinga asking Real Madrid to go earlier than expected to Real Madrid, because he wanted Rennes to receive money and not to leave as a free agent, as a form of respect for the French club. And so Real Madrid signed Camavinga before, also to avoid any hijack from English clubs. So sometimes clubs can say, okay, the market for us is closed, it's over, but then you have a last-minute opportunity and you decide to go for it. So for Arsenal after Merino, for United after Ugarte, for Chelsea always, for Liverpool also. I see many Liverpool fans desperate. But guys, it's really important to say that the market is closed when it's closed. Until you have opportunities on the market, everything can still happen. That's my point of view, and that's why I'm not coming here to tell you, okay, it's over. Juventus are still negotiating, yes, for Nico Gonzalez, absolutely. Talks are taking place. Then let me see. Price for Ugarte, I think, is going to be something in excess of 50 million euros. But on the price, I will be more clear as soon as they will get the deal done. At the moment, I'm not sharing exact details because it's not clarified yet. There is a part as loan fee, a part as obligation to buy. So it's not an easy story, let's say like this, in terms of structure of the deal. But I will clarify that as soon as possible. Don't worry. Progress and Lukaku talks. The meeting is today. My expectation, I say that clear here on playback with all you, my friends, is for Romelu Lukaku to leave Chelsea and go to Napoli. This deal is happening. That's my information. That's my feeling. Then, is done now? No. But the expectation is for the deal to happen. Because Lukaku only wants to go to Napoli, because the contract is ready. Is a 3-year deal with a salary that is going to be reduced for Romelu Lukaku. So he's making a big effort to go to Napoli. Because Antonio Conte only wants Lukaku. Because Antonio Conte is already talking directly to Romelu Lukaku. And also because Chelsea want to sell Lukaku. So I think this deal will get done. That's my feeling. It's not done while we are live now, but I think it will get done. And it could be today, tomorrow, we will see. But this deal will get done for Romelu Lukaku. Noni Madueke, still no concrete update, but I think there is a possibility for him to go if Chelsea receive a good proposal. But still no concrete update as of today. Earlier in the window, there was interest from Newcastle. Let's see which club will decide to try for him. Then, let me see. Any news about Wesley from Corinthians? Al Nassr want him. Al Nassr presented a proposal for Wesley from Corinthians, $18 million. They want more. So let's see how the negotiation will go. But Wesley is a possibility. Wesley is a possibility for Al Nassr. And so he will leave Corinthians. Alphonso Davies, Bayern King, still no concrete update as of today. I think there is a 90% possibility for Alphonso Davies to do this season at Bayern, eventually join Real Madrid as a free agent at the end of the next season if he's not extending his contract at Bayern. So this is the story. Then, let me check. Okay, Maturai to Brighton, the negotiations are concrete, absolutely. On Estevao, I will let you know, guys. I don't forget you. Trust me, after the transfer window, we will touch on that. Samu Chelsea, Samu return. No. Between Chelsea and Omorodion, game over. Mikel Merino today. Could be Benjamin, could be. But let me send this message to Arsenal fans. Don't worry. Merino is absolutely very, very close. So it's just a matter of time. And Mikel Merino will be an Arsenal player. This is the expectation. Any update on Ramsdale to Wolves? Ramsdale has Wolves and Bournemouth too. So there are several possibilities for him because Bournemouth had to sign Mamardashvili from Liverpool in the deal with Valencia, but he is no longer going to Bournemouth. And so now they have a spot for the goalkeeper, and it could be a possibility. In terms of goalkeepers, remember that Chelsea are also actively working behind the scenes to sell Kepa. So Kepa will also leave Chelsea in the final days, and Chelsea are working on it. Silvano Vos to Milan, negotiations underway, so talks ongoing for Silvano Vos. Guys, I think we said it all, many things, many news. I will try to keep you posted on all the latest also later today, because trust me, many things are happening, but really many things are happening on the market. So I will keep you posted on everything. Why not talk on Liverpool? I spoke, Oliver, about Mamardashvili. The Mamardashvili deal is quite close, almost done, I would say. Working on the payment terms, on the deal structure, and then the deal will be done. But Mamardashvili is an important signing. Then I know Liverpool fans expected things like Zubimendi and all the rest. I can guarantee, once again, that Liverpool are working on deals for the final days. But as of today, I can't come here and tell you that the deal is done or the deal is close. So let's wait and see. But there is still movement. On Dybala, as we said, Al-Qadsia are close to signing Paulo Dybala, could be any moment, even today. So guys, I will keep you posted on all the latest. Thanks, as always, for being here, and get ready. Next days will be crazy. See you soon.